J. Brooks and Associates.
Yay. Thank
How many bites?
So, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? I have to let you know that I'm an instructor at Southwest Florida College, so I have a tendency to walk around when I talk amongst my class, so I hate to stay in one place, so you might hear me over there or over here. I just want to let you know that. This morning I thought I would take a few minutes and talk about something that we get a lot of questions about, and that is how we deal with our vehicle in terms of mileage, or do we keep track of all these stupid little receipts that we get when we go buy gas or go through a car wash or get your oil changed or any kind of maintenance you do to your vehicle. That's a lot of receipts to try to keep track of through the year, is it not? Would everybody agree with that? Mm-hmm. So what's the benefits of keeping your receipts? Can anybody tell me a benefit of keeping your receipts?
Proof.
Proof, because we have to prove that we actually did pay for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what does the IRS say about proof?
Documented.
Will they allow you to take a deduction if you don't have proof? Okay. So that's the biggest reason why we have to keep our receipts, is that we have to prove that we actually spent the money to be able to take the deduction. Here's a nice benefit when just calculating our mileage. We don't have to do anything but tell them how many miles we took, right? At least that's what everybody thinks. Should we keep a logbook?
Yes.
Absolutely. You must keep a logbook. Logbook is your receipt, it's your proof that you're allowed to take a deduction. And here's some nice little tidbits. Last year we kind of got lucky because the IRS said, man, gas is really expensive. So in 2008 you got up to 58.5 cents per mile.
Wow.
In January 2009, we dropped back down to 55 cents per mile. Not much of a drop, but still a little bit of a drop. So those mileage can add up, especially for those of you that operate out of your home and you're doing a lot of driving around town. You drive down to Naples, drive up to Port Charlotte. But how do you know where to go? How do you know what to track? Does anybody know that answer? What are we tracking? From what point to what point in our destination?
Business to the place.
You can't track from your home to your business,
Right.
but you can track it once you get to work.
Okay. Let's say your business is in your home. Where do you start tracking from? From the driveway to your first destination point. Do you get to have that mileage back from the destination point back to your home? Yes, if your office is in your home. Now, what about if you have a standalone business like Jeff? Where do you start tracking your mileage from? From your office to your first destination and back to your office. What if you go from your destination to your home? Are you allowed to track that mileage? Just the mileage to the office, not back to your home. So, yes, ma'am?
What do you, in a case like mine, where I rarely even go to the office, I just go from my home all over and go back home at night. How do you do that?
Well, you keep track of all the miles you drove, but it's the distance, the distance that you would see. What I would tell you in a case like yours, at some point make a stop to your office. Even if it's just to say, hi, how you doing? And see you later. Just drive in the parking lot, something, so you have a destination point. Otherwise, you have to do some calculations. And basically, you got to figure out, the distance from your home back to your office, and all of that's got to be taken into account as you're out doing all these gallivanties. Okay.
Your office is 2 miles from your house and you drive 10 miles, you're going to keep it.
Correct. Okay.
Gary, what about like on a day like today where
Everybody drove straight from their home to here. Now, we have some different little things happening, because some people actually, this is their business, such as Marcy. She's a marketer, so everything she does, anything she touches, anywhere she goes is basically her business. Or in a case like Jeff, where he's doing this to try to make business for himself. Now, he still gets to write this business off. I don't want to get into the mills, because that's a whole nother 2-hour obligation. But the mileage he would not get the deduction from his house to here, but from here to his office he would. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
So from his house to here, no, but from here to his work, yes. That would be an excludable deduction. Now, some people who do quite a bit of driving and spend a lot of money in the area of gasoline, I don't think it's on my list, is it? Cost of gas right at the top. Will find, I have some construction people that drive the state of Florida. That's a lot of miles in it. But they're driving in diesel trucks that get maybe 6 miles to the gallon. So their gas exceeds the mileage they would get. So for their benefit, it's almost better for them to take the receipt. Every case is a little different. And what we do at J. Brooks & Associates is we say, give me all of your receipts, and then let's take a look at your mileage and see which way is going to be the best for you, and let's make a plan going further into the future how you can take advantage of those situations. One area that people don't understand that I get hit a lot with is car washes. Bet you didn't know you could take that as a deduction, could you? You did, good job. Car wash is an area that doesn't have, people say, oh, well, I wash my car about twice a month. Is that probably average? About twice a month? Some of us are really meticulous, 4 times a month, right? once every quarter? Once every quarter? Okay. I would get in the habit of doing those things on a regular basis. Make sure your oil's changed every 3,000 miles. Make sure your tires are inflated every 3,000 miles if you get your oil changed. Make sure they're rotated. The longer you can keep your vehicle on the road, the better your deductions are going to be down the road. Okay? And the better your mileage on top of that. We won't get into that. That's another whole speech. How about vehicle registrations? You can take that as a deduction. Yes. It is a deduction you can take. What about leasing or renting your vehicle? Kevin, I bet you could tell us all about that.
Oh, leasing's the best, but you can't lease anymore, so might as well give up.
Yeah, not many leases happening right now, is there, Kevin?
There's very few of them out there.
Leases bring on a whole new situation because there are so many rules that affect how you can depreciate or take advantage of the leasing situations. And the IRS continues to refine those restrictions and exclusions, and it makes it very difficult. I always say if you've got an opportunity, either buy the vehicle, because that's how you get the best deduction, the best money back at the end of the road, or forget leasing altogether and let's just take mileage and walk away from it. Now, a few little key points here. Anybody dealing a lot with medical with family members? Or maybe their husbands? Well, on your Schedule A, if you're able to take enough deductions, for those of us that can, this is often an area that's missed. And you get 24 cents per mile to drive people around to the hospital, to their doctors, okay? And it's an expense that's missed all the time, or a deduction that's missed all the time. How about, does anybody help out with charitable organizations? 14 cents per mile. You do a lot of driving with those? 14 cents per mile. You should be keeping track of every single mile you do with a charitable organization. The standard rate continues to move and fluctuate based on some different particulars, but the IRS tries to keep it in tune so that the receipt or mileage stays fairly even. Again, every situation is a little different based on where you're spending your money. So, again, we like to take all of those deductions, bring them in, and do a cost basis and see who's which way is the best way for you. Any other? Let's see. I think that's about it. Who has some questions for me?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying 14 cents per mile for a charitable. So when I keep a log, I should be keeping track of what?
Absolutely.
Not just the mileage?
Well, It's not, it's enough if you're just wanting to take the mileage for your business, that's one thing. But if you want to really take advantage of the mileage rates, you should keep track of where you're driving those miles at. And they ask you anyways in the tax forms, they want to know what your commutes are, they want to know what your business miles are, your personal miles are. So it's good to keep track of that anyways. And if you're in the log, I mean, you're going to put your, the date, the miles, and then what you did. And that should be enough for you to know where you drove in your log. Yes, ma'am.